श्याम सुंदर हमारे यार लखन को जिया लल के।
श्याम सुंदर हमारो यार लखन को जिया लल के।
तो लखन को जिया लल के।
लखन को जिया लल के।
तो लखन को जिया लल के।
लखन को जिया लल के।
श्याम सुंदर। Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga, the Yoga of Devotion, verse number 12. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat.
श्रेयो हि ज्ञानम् अभ्यासात्।
Jnanad dhyanam vishishyate.
ज्ञानात् ध्यानं विशिष्यते।
ध्यानात् कर्म फलत्यागः।
ध्यानात् कर्म फलत्यागः।
त्यागात् शान्तिरनन्तरम्।
त्यागात् शान्तिरनन्तरम्।
Translation: better than mechanical practice is knowledge. Better than knowledge is meditation. Better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of actions. For peace immediately follows such renunciation. It's interesting that first he said, completely absorb your mind in me. Then he said, if you can't do it, practice absorbing the mind. And if that is also too difficult, work for me. But if you feel that you don't have any connection with me and can't work for me, try renouncing the fruits of your actions. So this was the fourth. Now he's gone three below that. So he says that an empty ritual is all right. Something is better than nothing. Because how else do you pass on values, spiritual values in society? You engage people in religious ceremonies, religious practices. And that is how the masses engage in some form of dharma. So an empty ritual is not worthless, it is something is better than nothing. But then it doesn't suffice, because the purpose of it should be the purification of the mind, the creation of bhav. Like people do Ekadashi. So what is the Ekadashi concept that you have? Swamiji, we don't eat grain on Ekadashi. So what do you eat? We eat kalakand, we eat peda, we eat rasgulla. We eat special halwa made of kutu ka atta and pudis of the same. The real dawat is on Ekadashi. Is the purpose served? What was the purpose of Ekadashi? That every day your mind is overemphasizing food and taste. So for one day, take it out of your psyche. That is the idea of upavas. Vrat, fast, means upavas, the Sanskrit word. Vas means to sit. Up means close. When you go and sit close to God, that is upavas. So to go close to God, you have to take your mind to Him. But what are you doing on Ekadashi day? The mind is going to food. 48 hours ago, the discussion has begun at home. Beta, Ekadashi is coming. What will you eat? What will you eat? What will you eat? Now, keeping everybody's farmaish in mind, the food is made. So, whole dawat is there, ready. And the rule is on Ekadashi, I must eat only once. So some people say that after eating, just keep sitting down there. Because after 1 hour, if you get hungry, you can eat again as long as you don't get up and do kulla. And if sitting there you become exhausted, just lie down on the same spot or even fall asleep. These kind of vrat that we are doing becomes an empty ritual. Okay, again, something is better than nothing. How do you celebrate Shivratri? And Swamiji, I keep upvas till midnight. But where is your mind in the upvas? When will it become midnight and I'll get my food? So the mind has gone closer to food. A better idea may have been to eat a little bit and keep the mind with God. So the rituals are a plenty in our Vedic Sanatana Dharma. I think it is a whole web of rituals. But then the purpose behind it must be understood. What is the purpose of it all? The first mantra in Karma Kanda is Apavitra Pavitro Va Sarvavasthangato Va Yasmaret Pundarikaksham Sabahya Bhyantara Shuchi. You know, the water is taken in the palm and then saying this, it is sprinkled here, there, and is thrown here. What is the meaning of the mantra? If you understand this one mantra of the Padma Puran, you have understood it all. It says whether you are pavitra or apavitra, clean or unclean, sarvavasthang, whether you are in the temple or your living room or in the restroom. Yes, Maret Pundarikaksham. If you remember Pundarikaksh Sri Krishna, you will be cleaned from inside and outside. Now which cleaning remains? But the purpose of remembering is not being fulfilled. They are only throwing the water. So this is now the empty ritual. Sri Krishna says beyond that is knowledge. We are all discussing and savoring knowledge here. Sri Krishna has put it at a higher pedestal. And why so? Knowledge will create bhav. Somebody offers you a round pebble. You have got no bhav, patthar hai. Says, Arey, this is from Damodar Kund. It's a shaligram of Vishnuji. Ah! Now your hands have been folded. Shaligram hai bhai. Some amount of divinity I perceive. Somebody says, you know what? This was worshipped by Swami Ramanand, the guru of Saint Kabir, in the 16th centuries. Really? Oh my God. Now you bow down your head in pranam to it. So that bhav which is getting created is a consequence of the knowledge that you are receiving. Now you walk into the temple and the deities are there. How do you create bhav? When you bring to yourself the knowledge. Bhagavan has manifested in this form. It is his Arch avatar, Vigraha avatar. He is actually present. When you remind yourself of these things, the mind creates the bhav. So knowledge is to be held in the head, to develop bhav in the mind. And apart from that, to walk the path of bhakti, knowledge is also important. You must have a clear understanding. Why am I supposed to do bhakti? Who am I in any case? Whose bhakti am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to do this bhakti? What will be the end result, the fruit of it all? When this is clear, it will not be just a roller coaster emotional ride up and down, up and down. you will walk solidly on the spiritual path. That is why the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu says there are three kinds of sadhaks, three levels. The first, highest level, Shastre yuktaucha nipanah sarvatha dridha nischayah praudha shraddhodhikariyah sabhakta uttamo matah. One who has got firm faith plus the knowledge of the scriptures, both. That is an uttam sadhak. That sadhak will not be easily swayed. Otherwise, there is always the danger that the kusang of the world may impact you, the negative association. So, the second level is madhyamadhikari, shastradishva nipunaha, shraddhavan satu madhyamaha, who doesn't have shastra gyan but has got faith. So that sadhak is going on the basis of faith, but is vulnerable because of his friend says, "What do you do nowadays?" Are you know that Mukundananda came and I also started doing Radhe Radhe. Your friend says, "Are you crazy? This Sri Krishna was not God, he was a loafer running after gopis." So, really? I thought he is God. Now, if you don't have knowledge, your Shraddha will suffer a cardiac arrest. And where will the bhakti go? That is why this is the vulnerable stage. And then the lowest is Kanisht Adhikari. Yo bhavet komala shraddha sa kanishto nigadhate. One who neither has the Shastra Gyan nor solid shraddha, little bit of faith. So that sadhak is always in misery because kuch shraddha, kuch dushtata, kuch sanchay, kuch gyan. Ghar ka raha na ghat ka jo dhobi ka swan. So if we wish to be a good quality sadhak, you must definitely cultivate the sacred knowledge from the Guru, your spiritual teacher, and from the sacred books. So Sri Krishna is saying higher than empty rituals is knowledge. But knowledge is only giving you theory. If you come to know this is how samosa is made and this is how dokla is made, will your appetite be satiated? Husband comes from the office and says, "Srimati ji, badi bhook lagi hai." And wife says, "Wait," she gives you the cookbook. "Let me tell you how samosa is made." He says, "Will I get something to eat? I am going to explain how dokla is made." So theory is theory. It will not satiate our soul. And that is why Sri Krishna says higher than knowledge is meditation. So meditation means putting it to practice. Knowledge was theory. 1 ton of theory is worth 1 little pebble of practice. So when you are striving to meditate, you are striving to control your mind. And that is when the process of purification happens. So Shri doesn't mean that now you don't gather knowledge. You definitely gather knowledge as well. But beyond that, also start doing dhyan. But then Sri Krishna says that dhyan will also not suffice. It is a tool for mastering your mind. But higher than dhyan is vairagya, detachment, renunciation. Because through dhyan, you will develop mastery over the mind. And when that mastery comes, you will be able to detach your mind from worldly things. The vairagya will come. And the moment you develop detachment, you will discover peace. So we are searching for peace by manipulating the externals and thinking I don't have enough. In search of peace, you came from that little village in that obscure district of Telangana all the way to Silicon Valley. I will get peace, but you still did not find peace. It is like that lady who was fed up of living in the metropolitan, the hustle and bustle, so much of traffic, etc. So she thought, if I go into a little village, I'll find peace. And she gave up her palatial home and went to the village. But out there, the basic bodily amenities were missing. The proper water, electricity, the repair people, etc., etc. So she said, maybe if I go to a middle-level town, it'll be the best of both. Now she went to live in a small town. And the people out there were all nosy parkers. They were all meddling in her affairs. She said, oh my God, this is even worse. Then she realized it is always all the same. Real peace has to be an inside job. And that will come when the disturbing elements are removed. And what is disturbing you is all the desires. That is why, once 12, 13 years ago, I was in New York and I was invited to the United Nations for a lecture. So I said, what do you want me to lecture about? They said the United Nations is all about world peace. So why don't you tell us about world peace? I tell you about world peace. So I said, okay, my topic will be world peace through peaceful pieces. Means the world is not an entity. The world consists of 7 billion at that time human beings. Now, how can there be peace in the world if the human being is not peaceful? So, world peace through peaceful pieces. When every human being finds peace, there will be peace in the world. And how will the human being find peace? Swet Marden was a Western philosopher. Orison Swett Marden, he said, what made me a philosopher was that I made a list of all my attainables in life which I want to achieve. And I went and showed it to a wise man in the neighborhood. Sir, this is the plan for my life. What do you think about my list? Beautiful wife, excellent job, wonderful car, etc. The wise man said, this is all very good, but one item is missing here. Peace. Shanti. Now look, young man, you may have it all, but if you don't have peace, you've got nothing. So how do you get peace? How does one person get peace? Sri Krishna says, Vihaya kamanyah sarvan pumans charati nispriha nirmamo nirahankara sashanti madhigacchati. In the second chapter, 71st verse, now this is the 12th chapter, he is given the peace formula. Give up your ego. Give up the sense of proprietorship and vihaya kaman. Give up these desires. So here Sri Krishna says, higher than empty ritual is knowledge. Higher than that is meditation. Higher than that is detachment from the fruits of your actions. So beautiful. Now, from verse 13 to 19, he will describe the qualities of devotees, which is also a very inspiring topic.